Yo, Big D here to talk Jaguars tonight. Before I bring in the special guest from Duval County, please subscribe, like, and share with the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. It is Christmas week, so may throw in a Christmas episode later. Also, check out the Big D podcast for all your audio listeners on Spotify and Apple. So, for all your football fans, yesterday the Dallas Cowboys and Jacksonville Jaguars met in Duval County, and usually when the Cowboys play, it's how about them Cowboys, but on Sunday it was how about them Jaguars because the Jags beat the Cowboys 40-34 in an overtime, crazy, insane, nutty game. So here to talk the Jags is my friend Brad Harvin. Brad,
Hey, what's going on, Dylan?
these games are just getting crazier and crazier, right? These games are just getting crazier and crazier, right? I mean, I thought the Ravens game was crazy, but this one takes the cake.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was a little confused. I thought we were going to be talking about the Harry and Meghan special on Netflix. No, I'm just, yeah, they're the Jaguars certainly still living up to the cardiac cats nickname here. Just an absolute crazy day. I think I was telling you earlier that unfortunately I didn't really get to watch the game from start to finish, but I was able to catch the end and the overtime, and where I was, people were hollering Duval back and forth everywhere after the game. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of magic in the air here for the first time in a while in December.
Yeah, and I mean, in his first game against America's team, how about maybe America's next great quarterback, but Trevor Lawrence is a star.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
4 more touchdowns against America's team. I mean, the kid's amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it last year or earlier this season. You know how it looks like he's really starting to come into his own, and even since we talked last time, I mean, he's been putting up numbers left and right, not necessarily turning the ball over. Although we did have a couple yesterday, almost costly little fumble at the end there where he was trying to probably do a little bit too much. But all in all, I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been just an absolute shining star the last couple months down here in Jacksonville. Even losing a few games here and there, but he's still finding the open targets, and it's just really excited. I was talking to my family and friends yesterday after the game, and I mean, just think next year the receiving core is going to look like Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, and Zay Jones, and hopefully they will re-sign Evan Ingram. I certainly feel like he's earned a spot here on the roster.
What if I told you Trevor Lawrence's last 6 games consisted of over a 70% completion percentage,
Right. Yep.
280 yards a game, a 111 passer rate, and a 14-to-1 touchdown interception ratio?
I would take that. Absolutely. I mean, I think there's a lot of teams out there that would take that. I mean, he's certainly, like you said, really getting into his groove, finding the open receivers, going through his progressions, hitting guys in stride too, which is something you didn't see a lot last year. Not just some of the bonehead mistakes he made, but it looked like he was kind of missed the timing on receivers a lot last year, even during certain times this year as well, kind of throwing behind him, but he's really catching these guys in motion. I mean, getting the ball to the playmakers and making things happen.
I mean, it seems like Trevor's got chemistry with all his receivers, but Zay Jones, if you used him in fantasy or DFS yesterday, you probably won your fantasy matchup, and B, probably made a lot of money because Zay Jones didn't catch 1 touchdown,
Right?
or 2 touchdowns. He caught 3. Not bad, right?
Yeah, definitely not bad for a free agent pickup that a lot of people, kind of just shrugged their shoulders to. If I remember right, he's from this area, so he's kind of excited to get kind of back in the area. And I mean, I thought that there was big play potential for him when they signed him. Certainly certainly a home run hitter. He was used a lot like that in with the Raiders. But it looks like Jacksonville's really, you kind of spreading out his route tree. He's doing underneath stuff. He's doing getting the quick passes. He's going across the middle in addition to hitting the fly route. I mean the long touchdown pass yesterday, he just had the guy on skates, and that's just a beautiful thing.
Well, we mentioned before we hit the record button that things did not always the game did not start with the Jaguars. Dallas moved his way up and down the field, Ethan fumbled and Trevor threw a pick. But what do you think was the big turning point in the game? Because I've got a feeling we've got the same one yesterday, right?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, like I said, I have a feeling you were able to watch, beginning to end. But I went to YouTube and just did the little highlights and everything. And I thought that it was very interesting because out of halftime, Jacksonville went down, had a nice little drive. The drive sputtered and they kicked a field goal to make it 21-10. What I felt was the biggest thing, or one of the biggest, because I think now I know another one, but it was when Dallas got the ball back. They peppered CeeDee Lamb a couple times. Boom, boom, boom. They're already back down the field, looking like they're getting ready to score. But the Jaguars defense bent but didn't break and gave up a field goal there to make it 24-10. Now, if Dallas would have gone up another touchdown there, I think things would have been a little bit different. 28-10 is certainly a lot different than 24-10 when you're at home. Your offense at the time isn't really gelling, isn't kind of moving along. So I think that defensive stand to hold Dallas to a field goal right after Jacksonville scored after halftime. I think that was a huge point for the game. What was yours?
I think the big turning point for the Jags was after Trevor's interception, because Jacksonville needed a response 27-10. The game looked like it was teetering, whether it be blowout or could the Jags came back. And the Jags needed to play, and Trevor hit Zay Jones on that long touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Touchdown. And from that point on, the game flipped. I mean, Dak threw an interception. All of a sudden, the Jags, instead of being down 27-10, in like 5-6 minutes, took a 31-27 lead. And then it was a fight.
Right. Absolutely. And then leave it to Mike McCarthy to make a silly decision on 3rd and 10 when Jacksonville only had one timeout left, and he tried to go down the sideline with the pass. I mean, I imagine he was trying to get a call there, a pass interference, or catch Jacksonville sleeping. But I was completely confused. They didn't just run Elliott up the middle, then again make Jacksonville eat their timeout, because that timeout came back and obviously helped Jacksonville get down the street or get down the field and kick the game tying field goal at the time. And so I was pretty perplexed at that, especially because this game had a lot of impact for Dallas as well. I mean, I'm hearing from all my Eagle fans, good job, way to go, congratulations. They're obviously over the moon that the Jaguars took down Dallas and solidified their spot to win the NFC East, really.
I don't think the Cowboys were catching the Eagles no matter what happened in Jacksonville. And now Jalen Hurts may miss the rest of the regular season, but we'll see what happens anyway. But you mentioned Mike McCarthy, and how about the Jags coach? Because last year, I'm not going to mention his name, but he was bad last year. But Doug Pederson, it's hard to get the coach and quarterback right. We've seen in San Francisco with the 49ers, they've got the coach, but not the quarterback.
Right.
In LA, the Chargers have the quarterback, but not the coach.
Right.
It's hard to get the coach and quarterback right unless you're Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, maybe Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow.
Sure.
Doug Pederson, the coach to get the most out of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I mean, Peterson's come in here, been nothing but professional, been very encouraging. Lawrence, talks so well about how the game plan's going. His confidence, obviously, the last 6 games has been growing astronomically. I can't wait to see what's going to happen Thursday night with a important game up in New York, taking on the Jets. Number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick from last year. Kind of see what happened. I imagine Zach Wilson's going to be behind center. He didn't play awful this past week, and coming back in from Mike White. So I mean, pivotal game for both these franchises. Who had their eyes on the playoffs.
Well, the old saying is offense wins games, defense wins championships, and the defense came up big late.
Sure.
How about Mr. what is his name? Rayshawn Jenkins.
Rayshawn Jenkins, yeah.
With the game of his life. I think he had 18 tackles, and this thing we like to call a pick six, right?
Yeah. He had the one earlier as well. I mean, really hats off to the entire defense. The last couple weeks, for the first time in a while, once again, I've been watching these Jaguars for many years, and it seemed like that coaching staff. So it's not just Doug Pederson; it's the rest of the game. They made some adjustments at halftime, which is definitely something that you haven't seen. I mean, last week in Tennessee, unfortunately, Jacksonville's been getting off to some slow starts here and kind of dug themselves a hole a little bit. But the adjustments were made, and they shut down the Titans last week, and really did a pretty good job on the Cowboys this week. I mean, really hold them to a couple field goals and maybe a touchdown in the second half. So hats off to that young group of guys who are still learning. Trayvon Walker didn't play, so there's still plenty of room for improvement there. But I mean, the safeties yesterday, especially Rayshawn Jenkins, had a huge game.
Might get an AFC Defensive Player of the Week vote.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
A lot of people want to talk about the NFC South as unpredictable because seemingly a team with 7 or 8 wins could win the division. Right now, the Jacksonville Jaguars are only 1 game behind the Tennessee Titans, and Jacksonville controls its destiny.
Right.
Because the Jags beat the Titans 8 days in Nashville and host Tennessee the last week of the regular season.
Exactly.
So, interesting. You mentioned Jets earlier. A pivotal Thursday night game against the New York Jets. Now, yes, the Jets have got a great defense. We know Sauce Gardner's an unbelievable player, but what's the key for Jacksonville to maintain this momentum? Because the last time Jacksonville won an emotional game, they came out flat as a pancake against the Lions. Now they're on a short week against a desperate Jet team. How can the Jags avoid a major letdown in a must-win game?
I think they need to get the running game going. Etienne certainly found some holes yesterday. He needs to hold on to the ball. It's gonna be cold up there. It's gonna be a little different than down here. Although yesterday was pretty chilly here in Jacksonville. I think the most important thing is to just go up there and continue to do what they're doing. Spread the ball out. You mentioned the Jets at cornerbacks with Sauce Gardner. There's some talent on that defensive side of the ball, but if Lawrence can continue to spread the ball out, use his tight ends, use the running backs out of the backfield, get that running game going, and chew up the clock, chew up the yardage, and score touchdowns. Do not settle for field goals because that's going to come back and hurt you on a short week.
I think a couple keys. One, the Jaguars have to protect because Cam Robinson's done for the year, so probably Little playing left tackle now. Secondly, I think the Jaguars have got to make whether Zach Wilson or Mike White starting uncomfortable. I don't think
some kind of pressure. Yeah.
I don't think they can. I don't think Jacksonville, especially Trayvon Walker, is not ready to rumble just yet.
Right.
Jacksonville's got to bring pressure. Yeah, Garrett Wilson's an unbelievable route runner, but there's no CeeDee Lamb. There's no Justin Jefferson on this team.
Right.
I think the Jags need to bring more pressure and see I think Jacksonville's got to win the turnover battle because we've seen with these Thursday night games, if you win the turnover battle, there's a good
Sure.
chance you're probably going to win. And I don't know if you and I think the Jags have a coaching advantage because we saw yesterday with the Jets. I have no idea what the clock management issues
Right.
happened at the end of that game. I mean, if New England didn't basically Stanford banned the ball to the Raiders, we'd be talking about the Jets' pitiful clock management issues. But I think
Right.
the Jags have got an edge. Doug Pederson will get these guys ready. Now the question is, can the Jags get up for this game? Because now the Jags are going to have some pressure. You know, they didn't have pressure yesterday. Well,
Right.
as much pressure facing America's team. The whole country is going to be watching them because this might be the one time other than the London game when people may say, "Hey,
Go
what's
check it out.
Jacksonville, Florida doing?"
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is an opportunity for them to continue to make some noise, put some pressure on the Titans who host Houston, I think, this week, which
Yes.
Houston's been playing tough the last couple of weeks, and Tennessee is not. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity to go up there, kind of scrape out a win. I don't think this is going to be a lopsided game on either side. With short week, I typically see those being kind of heavyweight battles. Kind of coming down to the special teams, which I'll give Patterson some credit. I didn't watch the I did not watch the field goal. I had to turn my back. I can't.
Which one? Which one? The first one or the second one?
Yeah, the second one. The second one. Yeah, exactly. So
Michael
it's gonna be fun.
The kicker didn't work that well.
I know. Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And I mean, as far as getting up, all they have to do is turn on the radio around here, walk around town, just hear how excited and rabid this fan base is. They're desperate for a win. I mean, we saw it in 2017, just how the fan base got behind them. And let's continue to put up some W's and come down to that last game against the hated Titans and see what happens.
So, with the Jets on Thursday, the Houston Texans on New Year's Day, and the Titans end the regular season.
Right.
Can the Jacksonville Jaguars potentially make it to the playoffs, whether it's a wild card or in the AFC, or win the AFC South?
Yeah, I think they have to win the AFC South. I think the wild card still has plenty of named teams in there that they're going to have to battle with. I think the key is to go for the division, get that fourth slot in the playoff seeding, and go from there. They can't afford to lose a game. I guess technically they could, but because I think that the next week, I think Dallas goes to Tennessee. But you don't want to hope for another loss by the Titans. You want to go out there and take care of business and win these next 3 games and go from there.
I think the Jaguars have got every chance because Jacksonville's got the momentum right now. The Titans are banged up on both sides of the ball right now. It's basically Derrick Henry and hope and pray.
Yeah, they're hurt at wide receiver. I mean, teams have certainly been taking advantage of that. Henry seems to get off a little bit early, but then they realize that the Titans are having trouble moving the ball through the air, so they're able to stack the box and neutralize Henry a little bit.
I mean, it would be crazy if like the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC and the Detroit Lions in the NFC both make the playoffs, because you could argue
great. Yeah.
The Lions and Jags are both these young, fun teams emerging. I mean, Detroit's won 6 out of 7. Jacksonville's winning games. I mean, you imagine the Lions and Jaguars playing on wild card weekend?
That'd be fantastic. It'd be great for both cities. I mean, for sure. My wife's from the Michigan area. She's got a lot of friends up there, so they talked a lot of trash to the Jaguar, to myself and other Jaguar fans down here. But yeah, I would love to see that. See both those teams get in there. Some new blood, man.
Yeah, have a playoffs without Tom Brady and the
Yeah.
Patriots for once.
Exactly.
All right, Brad, thanks for hopping on. We wish you and your family happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy
Thanks,
New
Phil.
Year,
Appreciate it.
and hopefully Jackson will ring in the new year with some playoff football in the not too distant future.
Absolutely, and if that happens, yeah, just give me a ring. I'd love to get back on here with you and talk about that home playoff game.
Meow.
Yeah, right on.